The sandstorm strengthens. There are only mere hours left before it all but swallows the light of the twin suns. One can find comfort in a dimming sky. Be drawn to the allure of the accompanying silence and the shadows that drape themselves over one's senses. Too much comfort, perhaps. In these times, I must remain aware, even so many years on, or else I'll find myself suddenly enveloped in those shadows. The warm promise of such a cloak can suddenly become cold and binding. Quite recently, among the whispers of this very sand, I faced such a man eternally bound up in this kind of cold embrace. A man too far gone to ever glimpse the light again. Despite his hatred toward me, I still felt the pull of the shadows within him like a magnet. Such is the power of the dark side. But at his ultimate end, I was able to draw myself away from the abyss. For with darkness and shadow comes sadness. This was true in Maul as it is in old Sith. As he lay dying, I felt the horror inside of him, witnessed it in his eyes. A dread that had played out in an eerie, slow-moving tempo throughout his life, carried forward by the inevitable inertia of fate itself.
He will avenge us.
What none of my masters ever told me was that lessons learned in youth can sometimes be nearly undone later in life, only to be revealed as more layered truths. For instance, I once believed that no matter the weight of a given darkness, there was always a chance for light to break through.
Even from here, I can see that Codia's second moon is bathed in light from their star. How can it be as they say? The mining outpost described it as utter blackness, the kind where a man taking a step forward doesn't know whether his boot will sink forever into nothing. They have to be exaggerating. Even tidally locked, the moon's dark side will receive planet shine from Codia 1. See?
You seem to have all the answers, Obi-Wan, but fail to solve the riddle. Perhaps when we look upon the situation with our own eyes, then the solution may come to us.
I understand. Of course.
For now, let us focus on attending to those in need. They've signaled the Republic for help, and that is what we came here to provide. In service comes true illumination, a light that lasts.
Yes, Master Qui-Gon. Still getting no response from the command center, Master. Comms have been silent since we received their first distress call this morning on Coruscant.
I hope we're not too late.
So do I.
Seems they weren't exaggerating about the darkness. It would be wise for us to use the macro binoculars we've modified. Stay focused.
I'd never seen anything like it. Seeing is less a correct word than unseeing. I knew right away that this wasn't merely a lack of light, and I grew anxious.
No need for such hastiness, even in shadows such as these.
The light felt less absent than blocked, inhibited by some kind of invisible wall or thick energy.
Astonishing.
Yes, but do not let that awe overtake you. We know not what's at play here.
The light given off by the Codian dwarf star is known to be dim, but I can barely pick out the constellations that should be visible according to the stellar cartography of the region.
I warn you again, do not lose yourself in this puzzle. Quiet your mind so that you may be able to reach out and find those in need.
Qui-Gon Jinn may have never been much for tradition, but that shouldn't be mistaken for rashness. It was his exactitude that allowed him to cut through distraction.
Yes, Master. You're right. I will.
Just as one submerges below the rough waves of an ocean, deeper within I found more tranquility, and I began to probe with my ally, the Force.
Master, I sense fear.
So do I. Let's move.
Wait. Blood. A sizable amount.
Now might be an appropriate time for sabers.
Master Qui-Gon, are our saber blades dimmer?
Perhaps. But don't let confusion cloud you. He's hurt.
crazy. Gone mad.
At first, I believed him a miner from the outpost. Kodia 1 had 2 moons, one moss-covered, forested under starlight. There, ranchers bred reeks for aggression and combat.
He's cut, badly slashed.
Someone moved to abscond with these diamonds quite quickly.
The second moon was a phoenix world, possessing a vast ocean on its darker side, but with a rockier surface facing the Codian star. It was pockmarked with massive diamond deposits.
What's gone mad?
Kill us all.
Like all drawn in by the sparkle of gems, I wondered if perhaps the mining corporation had been too eager when establishing an outpost here. As it seemed, the moon bore surprises the miners had not anticipated.
He's dead.
Yes. May he be one with the Force. We must locate the controls to the power core. See if we can't bring the outpost back online.
Master,
He's gone, Obi-Wan. But I know you sense others as I do. Quickly, all the circuits still carry emergency auxiliary power.
the power core is completely disabled and unresponsive. That suggests damage to its integrity.
Let's move to it, and see if we can address the problem there.
Master, the radiation levels.
Dangerous?
No, but the signatures are strange. Wild variations and fluctuations. It could be what's affecting the light, suppressing it somehow.
No! Help! Help!
The sabers are darkening.
I'm afraid you're right.
A dark side presence? The Sith?
It chilled me to even say that ancient word aloud. I'd already seen the bizarre radiation signatures, and there was likely a scientific explanation. Perhaps it was the fear within me speaking in that moment.
Obi-Wan, you know as well as I that the Sith are long dead. I don't sense evil here, just chaos.
If only Qui-Gon and I had known about the Sith's re-emergence then, instead of later on Tatooine. I wonder what would have been different.
What?
I saw nothing, even with the goggles.
I sensed something. Something angry, but also confused.
Help me, please!
Obi-Wan, follow the shadow. He's safe. Let's send higher and see if I can render aid.
It wasn't that Qui-Gon was afraid of the pursuing malevolent shadow. I sensed no fear in him. In fact, I never did, in all our time together. I knew instead that his focus was unwavering. He was there to help. We both were. And the Master was sending his younger, vigorous Padawan to stop more bloodshed from occurring. Our sabers continued to shed their light. I knew not whether they would dissipate altogether. Was there fear in me as I rushed to face the shadow? Oh yes, a great deal. In that lack of light, visible only through the paltry infrared of my macro binoculars, I thought it a thing of pure evil. Drenched in the blood of the slain, thirsty for more.
Do not move!
I, of course, was unaware in the moment that this puzzle's solution was continuing to elude me. As grotesquely manifest as it seemed in that moment, the thing appeared to completely vanish in the next. But it was definitely still with me in the room. I began to wonder if the creature was a phantom. Or even if I was hallucinating. Only to painfully remind that the villain was indeed incarnate. My goggles were failing, my saber was failing, but in truth, I was failing. I sought to dive deep past the roiling waves of my mind's surface and reclaim tranquility. I remembered my training.
You're hurt.
Negligible. Is that miner injured?
This man is no miner. He's a thief. He and his cohorts knocked out the power core of the outpost in an attempt to steal a shipment of the moon's diamonds.
Then the victim upstairs.
One of the burglars, yes.
We must find a way to reignite the core.
You can't. We used a non-incendiary photonic charge to destroy the full horde.
Photonic? In the mission brief, it is said the power core was comprised primarily of solid accelerite. A photonic burst could lead to a peculiar radioactivity.
Radioactivity capable of suppressing the entire light spectrum.
Within hours, it could fuse with the atmosphere and plunge the entire moon into darkness for eons. Every living thing would die off.
What about the creature? Is it also part of your lot?
No!
No, Master. In our last encounter, I sensed something about the creature. Something pained. Perhaps we should keep our sabers stowed for now. The radiation could damage the kyber crystals. We can rely on the Force.
Agreed. Stay close.
The puzzle was nearly complete, but the fearsome shadow remained a missing piece, and I feared for the lives of the innocent miners we had yet to discover.
Ghastly.
What is it? What do you see?
More of your compatriots. You sought easy wealth, but reaped only death and darkness.
Not to mention the environmental catastrophe the entire moon was facing.
Down! Show yourself.
Jedi, you did this?
Of course not.
Escaped to the barracks after the power failure. As the outpost supervisor, I stayed to investigate. But I'm afraid I'm going blind.
Your sight hasn't left you. Light itself has retreated.
I glimpsed the dead here, before the shadows fell so heavily. Invaders. Thieves. They murdered 6 miners in their selfish heist.
Then they subsequently died of wounds inflicted by tooth and claw.
But there are no animals at the outpost. Nothing dangerous that's indigenous to the moon.
The being I saw earlier, it was wolf-like.
Wolf-like. Yafkana.
I was still inexperienced as a Padawan, and had not seen much of the galaxy beyond Coruscant. I'd encountered various species within the Jedi Order, some others in my studies, but there were still gaps in my knowledge.
Rosak Dinast. He's a miner. A devil.
A devil? I've never known a devil to attack like this.
Me neither. Could poor Rosak have broken with sanity?
The devil are sensitive to light. Not just sensitive. They can manipulate the light around them, almost fade away to the naked eye. Obi-Wan, those fluctuations.
Yes, the radiation. Rosa could be particularly sensitive to its intensity. The rapid changes. Perhaps it could have even driven him mad.
Then he is lost. You must destroy him before he escapes the outpost.
No, he's in need, and we've come to help those in need.
Garglyph!
Rosak! Rosak, no!
The Gran was right. If Rosak were to reach the barracks, berserk but also hidden by the immutable darkness, there would be untold casualties. I used the Force to push him back, stun him so that I might try and reach him.
Rosak Denost, listen to my voice.
Obi-Wan, it might be time to solve the riddle.
The accelerite, the fuel rod, the reconstituted and reignited fuel rod could nullify the radiation and clear his mind.
Go. And may the Force be with you.
Follow my voice! The power core is this way!
The Gran was brave, running fast, with only their memory of the outpost's layout to guide us. I, on the other hand, was preoccupied with the state of the destroyed fuel rod, wondering if my haphazard plan was even possible. Finding what remained of the rod in the power cores in the chamber gave me little hope. The supervisor's instructions were likewise grim. Not only would the fuel rod have to be reassembled, but it would then need to be reinserted into the core's upper conduit. 15 meters above. Once I reassembled the rod, the Gran would raise the chamber's temperature to just above the Accelerite's melting point in order to fuse the shards together, but not enough to kill me. Or detonate the rod, which would likely destroy a full quarter of the moon's surface. My hottest day on Tatooine is nothing compared to what I experienced in that power core. But now I had all the pieces of the puzzle, so I assembled them and unlocked the final answer.
Get out of there, Jedi! If the core power's on while you're still inside...
It was then, as I shielded myself from the concussive assault of the Accelerite's energy, that I experienced another form of unseeing. A more typical one. Total blindness.
I'm alive?
What do your feelings say?
Yes, Master, I am. And though I cannot see you, it's good to hear your voice.
Your eyes will heal, brave Padawan. Quite the riddle you solved.
I live as well, thanks to you.
Rosak?
It is.
Then your mind is at peace.
Yes, but my spirit remains troubled because of my actions.
Do not blame yourself. You were disoriented, sick. You killed only the lot of those murderous thieves.
But I still murdered, and I shall carry that all my days.
Light and shadow.
Shadow and light, always wrestling with each other. Neither the victor